Welcome to Church of the Chair, where we celebrate all the things we do while seated. I'm your host, E, here today with my co-host, Chad Lutzke, and we are working on a collaborative novel tentatively entitled Planet Caravan. I believe we're just going to, I think we're just going to call it Planet Caravan at this point, right? I mean, there's no reason not to.
If something pops up better,
Okay, all right. But yeah.
Never know.
I don't know, but I've been referring to it in my head as Planet Caravan. So hopefully it doesn't become one of those things where we end up changing it, and every place we talk about it, it's going to be like, yeah, Planet Caravan. Oh, nope, that's not the title of it. I did that with Bay's End for the longest time because it was initially called The End and then Summer's End. And then I finally settled on Bay's End, the title of the town, because both of those other titles, the editor thought The End was boring and just too commonplace, which, I mean, The Stand, The Shining, anyways. But and then Summer's End, there were so many books called Summer's End.
Probably, yeah.
And I still regret naming the town what I named it, because everybody thinks it's a fucking error. So much so, for those of you watching, you might find this funny. Chad already knows this. Good morning, Boggle. Good morning, Ishmael. So the original first line after the intro, I'm living with ghosts. There's that. The first thing Eddie Tremont said to me the day I met him was also the last thing he said, or something like that. And you mentioned that should have been the first line. It was the first line. Good morning, Tim. But so many people mentioned in either their reviews or this was back when I still Googled myself. I would come across people going, I think the title is a typo. And it wasn't. Like, if you actually read the book, you get to it. But so many people assumed right off the bat that I had made a mistake, that they weren't going to buy it because the author didn't know possessive versus, non-possessive S's. And so I went back and I put that first paragraph there, and nothing hurts me more than having that paragraph there. And it's also the first and last time I've ever, not kowtowed, but like
catered
answered,
to,
that I've given in to outside elements, people that I didn't even know. But I'm always more concerned with the thoughts and feelings of people I don't know than I am, and that's part of my narcissism. But I'm always more concerned with the strangers than I am the people that, I know, and, whatnot. It's just like I'm also harder on my friends when I'm reading their books, because I think they're not doing the right thing and I care about them. So I'm like, you fucked up in this book. I'm going to be hard on you and teach you a lesson. And that never worked for me as a kid, but I still do it. Well, I did it. I've stopped doing that. Nowadays, I don't give negative reviews at all. I just forget about the book. Hey, Century, how you doing? But it's the whole assumed typo thing drives me absolutely nuts. Like, no one will give. I won't say no one, but there are people who love the book who sent me a message saying, I'm surprised the book was so well. I got 3 of these emails. I was surprised the book was so well written because you have a typo in the title. And this is before I changed that first paragraph. And I'm like, it's literally in the book. The town is named after Francis Bay, and Francis Bay, the town literally killed him. But it also took me 4 books to tell his story. So it wasn't until everything.
I don't understand why they would jump to that conclusion. It's not like Bay's End is a like, nobody has heard that. It's not like a common thing, like you're saying San Francisco or.
True, but it is a place. There are several places called Bay's End that don't have the apostrophe. So I don't know if people are assuming that. Here's a little funny story about Googling yourself or setting up notifications for when you pop up online, which I don't suggest you do ever. I still, to this day, because I don't know how to go in and turn it off, I still to this day get constant updates about Green Bay Packers, because they're always talking about the Bay's End. The Green Bay's End, end tackle or whatever the position is. So it's funny because when I first did Edward Loren, I was like, I want to keep a tab on this dude, this pin name, because he's meant to be offensive. So I want to see how many people I'm offending, and I want to see how much controversy I'm stirring up with this name. to see if that was a better marketing tool than, just doing good shit. So
Yeah.
Lauren was always about pushing boundaries, always about upsetting people. Always that was the whole experiment, and it worked, unfortunately. And we were talking on Discord about how many subs have been dropping off on the channel. And a couple people even brought it up. It's like, Derek said there's two things that sell: sex and controversy. And I know that logically. That's why I started the Edward Lauren name, to put all the stuff that no publisher would touch with a 10-foot pole. And now that I'm no longer doing rage reviews, I'm no longer, doing takedowns like I did with Nocturnal Reader's Box and Shane Staley and Dark Fuse and all that stuff. Now that the drama's disappeared, I'm losing followers. And also I'm not engaging with dipshits online anymore either. If someone comes in and starts acting a fool, I just ignore them. And the mods have been, the mods have been told, if someone does come in acting that way, just get rid of them. Like, don't engage with them. I've even gone to the point where I've said, don't even say hello to them until I engage with them. And it's been working. In fact, last night someone came in to my game stream and I thought 100% this is a troll, because I didn't know that the game stream broadcasted also on PlayStation Network. Like, you could watch it on the PlayStation and just show it down in their little bar. And it also broadcast to YouTube. So he popped into the YouTube and he was like, I saw you on PlayStation, thought I'd hop over. And, and then finally me, him, and Derek played for like 2 hours. But I kind of let it stew for a while before I engaged with him. Because he came in and just started, like, not spamming chat, but he's one of those people who, like, type one sentence and then don't wait for the thought to finish in their head and then type another one. My friend Nettles is like that too. Like, you'll get this stream. Well, I don't mind it because I used to be the same way.
I don't like it if it's like on my phone, so it's like boodling, 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 boodling.
I understand that. I understand. That right when I see a string of comments from one person, I kind of shut down. I'm like, no, they're obviously trying to spam or get attention or whatever. So I was ignoring him at first, and then I just happened to he wasn't quitting, so I happened to look over. It's like, okay, this dude is legit. He's talking about the game. So I engaged. Hey Snake, how you doing? And that happens so rarely that I get new people in that actually want to be here. And not just people trying to troll or whatever, or do spam bots. But I am so much, what I'm getting at is I'm so much happier now, so I'm not going to go back to the old stuff just because I'm happier. And things are working out. My monetary issues are working out themselves, so I don't have to worry about the income stream coming into YouTube anymore. But also, I've gotten addicted to this daily content. Like, it's become a challenge to me, a game. So I'm like, how long can I keep this up? I'm almost to video 100. I have 2 more to upload, and I will be 100 videos consecutive, which I'm insanely proud of because I can't do anything. I can't do 100 of anything. It's other than words. Let me take that back. Other than words. Anyways, I guess unless there's something else you want to talk about, we can jump in.
No, I got till my cutoff time is noon.
Noon. Okay.
So I got till noon. But and I did. I wrote last night. I wrote this morning. And I did want to run by you. Depending on how today goes, I'm wondering because I don't want you to get too far ahead, and that's why I've been, writing off camera. I think I've got 3,000 some words highlighted.
Okay.
So some revised, some written, and I've just this morning started just barely started the Shenna thing, or the taking off and going to the fair. What was I going to say? Oh, I also had suggestions they're just suggestions for different chapter titles for a couple of for the last 2 chapters that I just did. And what was the other thing I was going to say? Man, I can't remember. Shoot.
It's all right. It happens to me constantly. I'm surprised it doesn't happen to me more when I'm talking to you, because it seems like everything you say, like you'll have a brick of conversation, and everything you say I have a response to, and I have to force myself to be quiet. Sometimes I can't. Sometimes I literally, I'm like, hang on, let me throw this in. But it's like everything you say, it's like I have something for that. I either have a response or whatever it might be, something to add.
Yeah, cutoff time. Oh, my suggestion, or my depending on how today goes, how much I get done, because I'm not going to be revising. I'm going to be writing, which is going to go even slower, probably. Maybe, I don't know yet. Depends on if I hit that dialogue. Once I hit that dialogue, it'll probably be different. But of potentially taking Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday off.
Thursday, Friday,
to allow you do whatever you want to do, and I can fully catch up, so we're back into like a linear progression with, like by that time. And like I said, depending on what's if I can manage to get this whole scene done where yeah, because I know you've been writing scenes ahead, and I don't want to if we find out that we're kind of like, I don't know, in a different direction, and then we have to scrap that scene. I don't want that to happen. So but yeah, I just don't want a lot of wasted writing. Not that there has been so far. Right. There hasn't been so far.
Let me try and put a balm on that wound, or not even a wound, but let me try and whatever. I'll just go ahead and say it. I write insane amounts of words every day. I throw away 90% of what I write. If I throw away 90% of what I write, I don't give a single shit how much you use. I really and truly mean that. The only time, like, I've joked like 2 or 3 times. I said, if you cut this, I'll kill you, And what I mean by that is if you just get rid of it, without telling me. And I don't really mean I'm going to kill you or even get mad at you. But for instance, I fucking adore what I did with Venus and everything. I'm not done with it yet. I'm planning on finishing it today. And then I was going to go back and, kind of help you build instead of, and so we're still on the same page here as far as mentally, because I am getting too far ahead. And, but what I'm getting at is if you get to the Venus section and you decide, I don't want any of this, whether it be too crass, too crude, or it's just something that we can't use for plot or whatever, then fine. Just let me know and I will copy and paste that over to my Cannibal file, because I'm going to use that. I know but you go just as crude and crass as I do. It's like some things I read in just Broad Street Bastard. So I don't think that's going to be an issue. But also, like I was talking about with the Carnival section, a lot of that, I like the idea of us kind of not following each other, like just have these little sporadic scenes, these little slices that have nothing to do with the plot. Maybe they're thematically, they fall in thematically. Like this character, that gets into confrontations just because she loves getting in fights and she wants to do it without going to jail. But if you get to that and it's 1,500 words or however long it is, or if it's 5,000 words and it doesn't work, just tell me. I'll throw it into my Cannibal file. You don't have to worry about me overworking myself, because I'm going to overwork myself anyway. My rough drafts, when the writers talk about rewriting, when they're actually talking about editing, I literally rewrite books. South of Here, nothing like South of Here when it first came out. South of Here read when I first wrote it. It read more like just like the prose from Everything is Horrible Now. Very basic, whatever. I literally went in and cut half of everything, chopped it down, and made every single line matter. And I just can't express enough how it's not going to bother me. Don't worry about cutting anything. Don't worry about, just give me a heads up. Like you said with the other thing with the eagle and the snake. just like I don't like any of this. That's fine. We'll move it over there because I want both of us to be happy, and I'm gonna be happy no matter what. Whether you delete everything or not, I'm gonna be happy with it because I'm still involved in the story, and I am a storyteller, not a writer. That's how I've always really thought of myself that way. So it's not about the words or the mechanics for me. It's about the story that I'm telling. As long as the story is something that I want to be working on, I'm going to continue working on the story. And then I'm going to choose the style for the story after I'm done. The difference here is you're already doing that. So you're saving me all the back end work. Because I've gone back, I've read everything you've done. I might have changed like 1 or 2 words here and there. But other than that, yeah, I'm the easiest person to work with in this regard because I don't really have darlings as much as I have scenes that I like or stories like the Eagle and the Snake, little stories that I like that may not fit here, but I'm going to write them anyways. So don't worry about it. I said all that to say, please, and I mean this. Some people say, hey, I don't mind if you do this, and then in the back of their minds, their egos is like, oh man, I'm starting to get pissed off. That's not me. I haven't thought about anything you cut other than today when we started talking, and I'm thinking about the stuff that you have changed or cut, and I'm like, yeah, that's fine. So, but we do need to slow down because I want you to be able to do more. As if not, I'm gonna end up with a whole novel sitting over in my Cannibal file.
Yeah.
So, but that's fine. It's easy. It's easier work. That's what the Cannibal file's for. It's to feed other work. So, but I really love this Venus section. And it has the themes of sounds again, and just character development with what this person is, and just filling out. And I really like the idea of each one, like in between these weird chapters, we come back to the plot. So there'd be connective tissue that would all serve to feed the ending. And the ending, of course, serves the beginning, which is the idea of being trapped versus being free. That whole thing, that circular narrative, and his obsession with sounds and this. I really wish you read the Venus stuff because, and that's another thing. If anything, my ego's getting in the way because I'm like, dude, I want you to read my shit.
Yeah,
I really enjoy this. Even if you hate it, I want someone else to read it. But this is one of those.
I get
books,
that.
Yeah, this is one of those books that, even though we're sharing it, like this is one of those books that I would normally have to fight the urge to share with people, because I tell everybody, do not share anything unfinished. Period. I have multiple reasons for that, but don't share any unfinished thing with anybody, especially not if you're feeling like it's going to the wrong place, because you're going to end up writing the book they want, not the book you want. But with this one, I'm so excited about it that I've been like, should I send it to Shell? No, because I don't know how much of this is going to stay. I don't want people to get the wrong expectations. If I go off on a tangent and Chad, decides he's going to like heavily edit it or completely cut it or whatever. But I am excited as fuck for this. So I've been fighting the urge to send it to my buddy Josh, to all different kinds of people. When all they really have to do is go back and watch, but not every single word is on there. So, yeah, I just went off on a tangent, but literally, don't worry about me, man. Don't worry about it, because no one cuts my shit more than I do. No one. It's not about the words; it's about the story. So,
all right. Well, for the viewers, we are now at just over 19,000 words.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is probably maybe projecting here, but over a fourth of what we're hoping for.
Yeah. I will say this because it's insane how accurate I am. But if you'll remember, and anybody wants to go back and clock me on this, I literally said that the first 20K was going to be him getting to the carnival. But so we wouldn't be getting there until the end. But of course, there's like 1,500 words that happens later on. But we're very, very close. Like as soon as I have an idea or whatever, I usually know how long it's going to be within give or take 5,000 words. And it's an insane talent of mine. I'm proud of something that I don't even try at, but it's like I know exactly how long this story is going to be. And the only time I've been wrong is the project that I'm currently working on, that I've been working on since December of 2021. That was supposed to be a 400,000 word novel, is now 902,000 words. So yeah, I'm approaching 1,000,000 words, and I got a little bit left. Now I got to work on how to fuck to sell it, because nobody wants big books. My game plan, just to give a quick overview, my game plan is to write 2 more shorter books before trying to sell this one again, because everyone I've talked to, all the agents, the publishers, everyone is like, really no one cares about lengthy literary fiction anymore, even though this is fabulism more than it is literary fiction. There are long stretches where nothing happens and it's all about character and theme, but everything is important come that final section of the book, and I plan to cut it up into 3. But anyways, I had a point here, but I always do this to myself. I was talking about length. Anyways, it doesn't matter. I went off on a tangent and I completely lost what I was doing. So we'll go back to it. If I remember, I'll bring it up. But I need to read Chad's stuff from what he did last night. Or yesterday, whatever. 48 words. Not 48 words. I'm getting words and pages mixed up. Damn it. Anyways, I was talking about how close I am with when predicting word counts of things. Like if someone asks me, if I'm going for an anthology or something like that, or whatever it might be, and I have a specific word count to hit, I do not try to make the idea fit the word count. I find an idea that fits the word count. If that makes sense to everybody. I will, if it's like an open call or something and I have free reign, then I would just go through my book of ideas and be like, okay, yeah, this one will be about 5,000 words. In search of, referring to both the cornbread and to Cassie's whereabouts. Oh, is that the instead of posted bills? I got you. Yeah, I like that. I've read a considerable amount of this. Did you do any more at the beginning of this chapter? In search of? You ain't never know. Yeah, I've read all this, I believe. Yeah, I read all this. Because it ends. Yeah, on the way. Yeah, but I will be going.
I did go back and change the. Made it so that he was using the plastic. Changed, so that he didn't know what to do with the turd, and so he goes outside.
Yeah.
And I fused what I was writing and what you had written.
Yeah. I'm just making sure I'm not reading over stuff that hasn't changed since I read it yesterday. I haven't read any of this wax distraction chapter.
And then I think afterwards I wrote. I don't know if you read any of the stuff where he starts to head out and look for.
No, the last thing I read of yours was yesterday. It was on the way home. I want to tell him about the fair, but there's no way his parents will let him go. No sense in teasing him with the idea, but I will be going. That's the very last thing I read of yours yesterday. So
okay.
Let me share my screen. Can I have your permission? All right, there we go. What was it I used to ask you permission for? It's something that was like a running joke for a hot minute.
I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember either. I'm glad I stopped though. Oh
No,
yeah, it
no,
was like something.
you used to tell me that I can go ahead and write and stuff like that. Like
Not only that, it was like feel
I
free
could
to like
talk.
talk to Chad or something when
Yeah,
while I'm gone. It's like I, I'm I'm always so worried about Also, I'm not used to having this. Is going to sound terrible, but I'm not used to having guests or people on here that I don't have to lead, like either with questions or something. Someone who's comfortable on the camera or uh, things like that. It never fails. Like I'll bring somebody on and I'll ask them a question and it'll be like a yes or no when I expect them to expand, and then I have to just drag the rest of the
mm,
answer out of them. So yeah, that's
yeah.
where that comes from. Why don't I have caps lock on? Why'd you put an extra apostrophe there?
Because it's the incomplete word.
No, I already had one there. You put another one.
Oh,
There's two now.
your cursor is on my
Oh,
screen.
it's
I can't see
blocking
it.
it. It's blocking it. Okay, I'll take
Okay.
care of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, my bad. I was like, what? It's what? I'm so confused. only the best for my, only the best for my boy. Oh, I also wanted to. I've been wanting to talk to you about this before we get going again. How would you feel? I probably should have talked to you about this in private, but how would you feel about me trying to do an audiobook for you?
For me,
Yeah, for one of your books.
I mean, you got a account set up and all that stuff, or
No, but I would send you like a chapter or two, and you get approval, and I'll figure out the rest. Because I find myself when I'm reading your stuff, I find myself reading out loud for no fucking reason. And you know how much I love, and it wouldn't be the goofy ass voices I do during like games and shit like that.
yeah.
But I would take it seriously. I just, I want to give it a shot, and I find myself, like I said, I find myself all the time reading your stuff out loud, and I like listening to myself when I'm reading your stuff. So I was wondering if you wouldn't mind me giving it a shot.
Yeah, if you want to set up a thing and I can send like a uh, audition thing or what or like
Yeah,
a
like
what do they call it? Like
ACX.
the first
It's an audition.
yeah. Because I there's some that I've just been slacking that I don't have for like all of the Jex books. None of those are audio.
That's what I was seeing, and I was hoping that I could do those because I specifically like reading those aloud. Um, did I see that you have one for Skullface Boy?
Yeah, that's I
Yeah,
think my newest or no, that's not my newest one. Three
that
Smiles,
broke
my
my
newest one.
that broke my heart. I was like, damn it. Oh,
Well,
what a subtle but funny edit. So I had him scratching red across the fire hydrant, and you
yeah.
you used to begin scratching blue across the outline of fire hydrant. There is no red crayon.
It's like when Kubrick changed the color of Stephen King's car, and then puts the. Apparently it was some kind of like middle finger to Stephen King. At least that's how people took it. And I can't remember what. Like the original car is like broken down in the back somewhere, and Kubrick's got this completely different car with a different color. No, I did that to show that he has to compensate, that he's
Yeah.
still happy even though he doesn't have the color that he needs for.
Oh no, I get it. I get it. It's just yeah. I like it. It's just I just found it funny.
It's not that you know what I'm saying. It's not that I changed the color. I did it,
That's the
because
no
there's
that
no red
okay.
crayon.
Before you try to defend it, I get it and I understand, but I'm laughing because once again, it's some shit that I would have went back and did.
Mm.
So, and I say shit, but I don't mean shit. I mean stuff. That's the Californian in me coming out. I call everything shit. That's some good shit. It took Shell so long to get used to that with me. It's like, why do you keep calling everything I do shit? It's like that's just what I say. It's just a descriptor for everything.
I'm used to that. Yeah.
Yeah, Shell wasn't. She thought she thought I was being mean there for a while when we first met.
Mm.
Yeah, I was talking about Nickelodeon down there.
Okay. I was gonna last night when I was doing this, I was like, I was gonna play a joke on you, but because I knew you'd probably be reading this live. When it says it's 6 letters, one name, I was gonna put it's 6 letters, one name, 2 girls, 1 cup.
Yeah, I would have got a kick out of that. Yeah, it's a funny one. Ew, fucking video. Uh, uh,
I figured you were talking about Nickelodeon, so I put the word channel in there. Like, yeah, he doesn't really remember the name because it's a weird, it's a weird name, and
yeah.
probably
9-year-old Southern kid's gonna have a problem with Nickelodeon, anyways. Nickelodeon, yeah. I also thought about doing 5 letters, one name, and have take the B off and just be like the poor kid doesn't even know how to spell his own fucking name.
mm,
I thought about that when I was first writing. I was like, no, never mind. I don't want to have to explain that. So
yeah.
yeah, the kind of focus makes his tongue pop out and curl up over his lip. Yep. Yeah, I was literally just looking at that, and it's like, should I change the to that, or should I put something in there? And then here you come, new. There's too much dirt. I'll get rid of this even down here. I don't know. I think it reads better without it.
I'm stuck on something I wrote here. I don't know what I was.
Yeah, me too. I've read it like 3 times.
After not from the dumpster.
It's literally where your cursor is. I'm not sure I ever had. I've somehow, yeah. But yeah, I'm my brain glitched. I'm like, I don't know what you were getting at either. I figured it was my own like dyslexia, not catching something. But yeah, it's something about I know like I have a. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Like in my brain, like I could understand the point. I just didn't know how to fix it.
I think it was something that was left in there before from a sentence that I was doing, and then I decided to do this whole paragraph of stuff instead.
Yeah. Your doomed luggage, motherfucker. Ooh. Yeah. Hang on. There's something here. Come on, work it out, brain. The lights are out. Lights are out. But the bonfire is painted the far wall orange. Anyways, I'll come back to that. I know what I want to say, I just don't know how to say it. Something's going on with your mic again. Hang on. It stopped. I don't know if you want to go ahead and change it, but
I don't know if it's my cord. I don't know what it is. It just will start.
It was perfectly fine, and then all of a sudden I heard a click like your keyboard, and then it started going click, 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 click. And now it's gone. So I don't know if you got to shorten your cord or what, but that's what it sounds like. This right here gets on my nerves irrationally. Like just having the numbers. Like I'm not going to change it, not even really complaining about it. It's just I was reading it in Broad Street Bastard. Like you have 8:00 instead of like 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. or whatever it is. Like irrationally, I'm like, I can't fucking stand that. Like I would just put it's only 9, NINE, or it's only number 9 a.m. or it's only 9 p.m. or whatever.
If I saw just the number or just the spelled out 9, I'd be like automatically at first it'll probably be like 9 what? There's 9 what? But I understand what you're saying. I think what bothers me is when people do AM or PM when they don't need to do AM or PM.
Yeah, I understand
because it's such a long thing. 9 o'clock AM PM. I don't know.
Well, I stay away from like giving the time at all in my stuff. Not because I have anything against it, but because I tend to forget things like that, like dates. Bay's End was a fucking nightmare because I used dates and I kept like I'd have to go back and keep changing the date because I didn't count the days right because some days were only half days or whatever, and the editor kept going, "There's only been 4 days. You got to change the date." I'd change it, and then it would fuck up the entire rest of the book. So I just stopped doing that. I also had a bad problem with adding chapters. So I stopped doing chapter numbers for the longest time because I would have like 2 chapter 11s because I changed something. I added a chapter or something and forgot to change the rest of it. So I try not to do chapter numbers either. I remember in Life After Dane, I had 2 chapter 36s. It's like, anyways. I'm like an old man trying to get off that couch. My body's stiff from grave digging. What do they call, other than, is there a specific name for like the caretaker of a cemetery, or is it literally just like cemetery caretaker? Isn't there a name for it?
Just I think just a caretaker, I think.
Yeah.
Groundskeeper, caretaker.
Groundskeeper.
But there's also a groundskeeper in golf, and stuff like that, or college campus.
You mind if I reverse this from grave digging to digging graves? I don't know. It like the cadence flows better. I'm like an old groundskeeper trying to get off that couch. My body's stiff from digging graves. I don't know why, but
digging a grave. Digging a
grave,
which adds another syllable in it, might make
it. Digging a graves. Good job. My body's stiff from digging a grave. Yeah. Startling David Lee Roth scream. Yeah, it gets me every fucking time.
It's funny because usually I have my phone in the other room, except for in the morning, and it's usually because we're, you're telling me whether you're going to be here 5 minutes or 30 minutes, and so
That's my
I've
morning
got,
text every morning. I'll be there 5 till, 15 till, 30 till.
yeah, so I got my phone with me, but it's usually not. But once in a while, if I'm on a podcast and it goes off, or like Final Guys, I just leave it in here because every time you're the only person that doesn't just lose it in laughter when it goes off because of the David Lee Roth scream, because it's so random. And I've had this notification sound on here for years, and my wife hates it every time it goes off.
So do I.
She's like, "Would you change that?"
That's why I don't laugh, honestly, because it actually annoys me. But don't think anything. That it's not like
it's hilarious.
It's pissing me off, but it actively annoys me. I'm like, fuck, because I hate being startled. I cannot stand being startled. Of course, I got picked on a lot when I was a kid, but people used to always sneak up behind me and either scream, or there was one dude when we were playing volleyball lit the back of my hair on fire. There's several different things. I beat the brakes off that kid, put that kid in the hospital for 3 weeks. Anyways, but I'll never forget that moment. Like, and then when he got out, he got suspended from school. He came back, fought with another kid, and ended up getting expelled. Like that one instance just like fucking ruined his school career. But anyways, so I have a thing like about being frightened. And it's funny because jump scares don't bother me in movies whatsoever. I got a buddy named David who does. He can't watch anything because of his PTSD from war, but that doesn't bother me. But like when I'm in a comfortable, because I'm expecting it in a horror movie. When it's just like me and you sitting here writing, as I like, fuck, it's so jarring. Then I have to calm myself down. It's like, you're fine. You're in a safe place. Fuck off. But... All right. So I have a little bit. I'm going to run this by you before I continue on with this. I have a little bit of character development from Mingo, but Mingo isn't even on screen here. This Flytrap starts, no idea why Mingo has me collecting everyone's dues, but here I am. And then he asks Shinna, why do you think, well, I need to put do. He's not going to say why you think. Why do you think Mingo sent me out to collect? She says, Auntie always told me to mind the business that pays you. You're funded, so why are you fussing? Like, I just don't get why he trusts me, I guess is what I'm saying. Like, I've only known him a week. She says, he probably doesn't trust you, and this is the way of letting you earn it. Like, that makes no sense, at least not to me. Listen, Spaz. She also calls him Spaz for whatever reason in my head, so feel free to change that. Listen, Spaz, we're weird here. Everyone's got their own way of doing things, and their own things need doing. My own damn self included, and Mingo isn't any different. You steal from him, he'll handle you the way he handles everyone else who crosses him. Simple as that. And then he goes on, I don't ask her to explain. Her warning is cryptic yet tangible, something I don't understand, but something real I can hold on to. I don't need to know what Mingo would do to me if I stole from him. All I need to worry about is that he won't let that shit fly without consequences. So while he's like this, kind, affable dude, people know not to cross him. But he also will put you in a position to allow you to break his trust. So I don't know if you want to keep that or not, but that's kind of how I see things.
Okay.
So just in case you get to Mingo before I do. I don't know if you want to keep that, but that's something to keep in mind.
Yeah, this once this Shenna chapter is done, well, and then the next chapter where he actually leaves, which will be the end of the first act, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Really, really looking forward to the rest of.
Yeah, me too. Like I said, I'm already having fun with. I got some keepers in here. Sorry. So Venus is naked in her trailer, sitting across from this. It's a very awkward situation. You got a 16-year-old boy sitting across from her, but she's also kind of flirting with him. And she walks over to the mini fridge, and says, I watch her ass flex and release, flex release as she struts, hunching over to keep. She's also 7 foot tall, to keep from banging her skull on the ceiling to her trailer's mini fridge. She bends over, and I have concrete proof that she's all woman. It's like a roast beef sandwich smashed between 2 glazed hams.
Oh, dude.
Like I said, if it's too much for you, just get rid of it. But It's probably the I have concrete. You would probably just do the I have concrete proof she's all woman and leave it at that. But yeah.
Yeah, probably. You got to remember who, too, like him as a character. Yikes.
But that's the thing. He hasn't seen one before. So he's like, it's the best. It's the simplest explanation he can. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of it. But yeah, it's the best explanation he could give.
I mean, it's better than a bulldog after having eaten a can of or a jar of mayonnaise. But
that's a good one. I haven't heard that one, but but that's what I'm talking about. It's like instant recognition. You know exactly what they're looking at. Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, goddamn. I'm not going to get that image out of my head.
Sorry, everybody. Sorry, ladies.
I'm not sorry. I'm not a bit sorry. These grown-ass women watching this. They'll be all right.
Okay.
Boy, I was on some bullshit yesterday. Oh boy, that's hilarious. It's a good line though. Yeah, we're an hour into this. I'm gonna go use the restroom, take a break. I'll be back. When I get back, I will get to writing. Oh, okay. All right.
I just added something to page 34 about his history with the fair and his mom and the urgency to go, because that really hasn't been talked about too much. So I slipped it in there during where he sees the flyer, because I started writing it below, but I was like, well, I should probably throw this up above when he first hears about the fair.
Yeah.
I highlighted it.
Yeah, I'm reading it.
Okay.
Yep. All right.
You okay with having such a short chapter? I got.
No, you fucking didn't. Okay, sorry. Let me explain before you say anything else. So, the 3 chapters I'm working on right now, the middle one is only like a page long.
Mm-hmm.
And I was literally sitting here going, I wonder, I was like, I wonder if it's too short. No, he'll probably go back and add more to. I just find it funny that I was literally thinking about that just a second ago. Go ahead.
Well, I had this line that feels like a closing line,
Right.
and it would help skip, because he just left, and then the next thing he could just be there, not dealing with the journey
Right.
getting there, and it would just
Yeah, we
feel
don't need
better.
another journey. We've had two or three journeys so far. So yeah, just him arriving is perfectly
Yeah,
fine.
but it's only like 5 paragraphs.
That's fine. Yeah. The one like I said, I have fly trap and then one that's called hook period line ellipses. That's really short, and then it jumps into it's maybe a page and a half, and then it jumps into ellipses and sinker. So it's like the beginning of a scene, but then I have to cut it because they leave that area and it's technically another scene. So no, I have no problem with it whatsoever. I actually enjoy that when I'm reading along, and also it makes people keep reading. Like if they just got done with a long chapter or a longish chapter, and they see they only you're fucking great / bad at this because about this, not at this, about this, because every single one of your books you'll have like a 2 or 3 page chapter, 1 page chapter, 5 to 10 page chapter, and then another short. It just keeps you reading. It keeps you burning through it. So no, I have no problem with it whatsoever because that's just going to keep people reading. Thanks, Ishmael. We're glad you're joining us, and we're happy some people are getting something out of this.
Ishmael, what language is that in your name there?
I believe he's from Iraq.
Okay. For a minute, I thought it was Arabic, because I have
here.
I have Bostrom Supplies is in Arabic, which I'm judging by the some of the reviews, isn't a great translation. I wouldn't know though.
Okay. Yeah, it's I believe it's Arabic.
The Egyptian publisher, the name escapes me. I wouldn't be able to pronounce it anyway.
Yeah, there are a number of languages spoken in Iraq, but Mesopotamian Arabic, Iraqi Arabic is by far the most widely spoken in the country. They also use Kurdish. Some of them speak Iranian, Turkmen, Syriac, and Armenian.
This is the Arabic version.
That's a great fucking cover. Sorry, I don't know if you like it, but I love that.
Yeah, oh yeah, I do like it. It's weird, because it reads backwards.
Yeah. Backward. Yeah. It's like I try to stay away from that when I'm talking about manga. I'm like, it reads the opposite. It reads the opposite direction from what we do. Anyways, but yeah, that's really fucking cool, dude. And I'm of the mind I like that one better than your cover, and I love your cover. So
which cover? There's the cover that I did.
One with the green one with the fly on it.
Okay. Well, then there's the Ben Baldwin cover too.
I don't think I've ever seen that one. Hang on, let me look up. Oh, okay. Yeah, the one on the swing set.
Yeah, that was originally for the hardcover Poltergeist press release, and then Ben let me have the art for that. So that's just the cover now.
I like it. I think it's almost like too post-apocalyptic looking, but I like it. It does
kind of look post-apoc, but I think it also says, and then this is the one from Spain, which is kind of cool.
Nice. Huh. Interesting. The only copy I have of any of my international, it's funny because I own the worst one. Give me a second. So not only is this the worst cover, even I think it's even worse than the original Bayzen cover, the black one with the flame that I never actually used.
Mm-hmm.
Not only do I think this is the worst cover I've ever had on any of my stuff, but it doesn't fit. It looks like sci-fi, all different kinds of, it's nothing. It doesn't capture the tone, quality, anything like that. But also, this is my worst reviewed book of all time, but only in this language. That's the German edition of The Sound of Broken Ribs.
I mean, I don't think it's that. I've seen way worse.
But I don't understand any of this. Like the checkered floor makes no sense. The ribs, yeah, but then there's this line that's like, I don't know.
It looks like a horror sci-fi.
Yeah,
it looks
exactly.
Horror sci-fi.
And it's not, I mean, it's definitely horror and it's got some spec-fic stuff in it, but it's pretty much just a really down-to-earth revenge story. Really simple. And it's like, there's like a ripple. And I guess the ripple effect is like, you know, like the butterfly effect theory, the butterfly theory, that, you know, a butterfly, you know the theory. Anyways, and I guess that's it because it kind of follows that, but it just does, this cover makes no sense to me whatsoever. And especially not the checkered floor. I don't know why they put the checkered floor there. Maybe because checkers or chess or whatever. I don't know. There's nothing like that in there, but it is kind of like a game of chess with one person chasing the other, hunting down or whatever. I don't know what they were thinking. But yeah, easily worst cover ever for my stuff. And I got review bombed, honest review bomb. Everybody in Germany fucking hated the book because they were expecting like they were expecting splatterpunk kind of deal or extreme horror because that's what Festa Verlag does. And it's not that at all. It's a very tight character drama with supernatural elements at the tail end of the book that are hinted at throughout. I don't know if you've read that one. I don't think you've ever mentioned it.
No, I don't. Okay. I don't even think that I don't even think I own that.
Gotcha. Okay.
I bought Life of Dane a few months ago, but I haven't. And then all the other ones I've read, I own.
Yeah, that's the cover I'm redoing next is Dane. I've never been happy with that one either. My favorite books, well, Bay's End isn't a favorite book, but my favorite books do not have good covers in my opinion. Except for the limited to south of here.
Russian.
Me like it. I like it.
You're supposed to be an Italian. I signed an Italian contract, but COVID killed him.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they shut down. They're one of the only countries that just completely fucking shut down. Like they closed everything for weeks and opened back up. So I can only imagine what kind of a effect that had. I think this is funny for anyone watching this who's interested in international stuff. Just because something is successful in America does not mean it's going to translate to the same success. One of the main reasons is Germany is a very literal society. They don't care too much about supernatural. They like violence, probably because of their violent history or whatever. But there's a whole lot of socioeconomic stuff going on over there. But Sound of Broken Ribs is one of my highest rated books I've ever written. Like most people love it, and then the people who don't like it absolutely fucking hate it. But over there, they were expecting like some Jack Ketchum or Richard Lehman kind of scenario, or a Wrath James White. Something like that. You know, something realistic and just overly extreme, because I think I'm gonna blame. I'll tell you off camera, but there's a certain author called me Splatterpunk and wanted to put me up for a Splatterpunk award, and that completely derailed my career. Yeah, okay, so you know about it. Completely derailed my direction, because then I got like 50 some odd reviews all saying this is nowhere near extreme horror. This is like a character drama. It's like I don't give a fuck about this. I'm like, thanks a lot, dude. If you were trying to help, you fucked it up. But anyways, and it just goes to show that you really have to play, because it was my choice what they were going to publish. They reached out to me, and I completely killed all future business stuff with them, because not only did the book do poorly in reviews, but also the reviews killed the sales. So they had over 500 copies left of the book that they had to destroy so they can do tax write-off shit. And I ended up getting a final check. I think after my advance was earned back, I think I got maybe $35, something like that. So it was a complete, an utter failure. And Germany was just like, Edward Lorne is not for us. I should have gave them Bay's End. I really should have gave them Bay's End.
I got an advance for Germany and signed contract, and that was years ago. Last time they're like, it's definitely coming out this year. This was like, I think it was supposed to come out in 2020. And then like, sorry about that. We ran into some, it'll definitely be coming out, this year. A year had passed and they had lapsed the contract. And then they said, well, sorry about that. You can keep the, obviously keep the advance. Is there any way that you could? And I was like, if you guys still want to do this, go ahead and just do it. It's not like I got, Germany knocking on my door waiting for, Skullface Boy.
Yeah.
But then I haven't heard from them in maybe another year and a half. So I think it's dead at this point. I don't think it's coming out, which is a shame.
Yeah,
I love having those on the shelf. I mean, the small advance was nice, but I'd rather have the book too.
Yeah. You ever go through your international stuff and try to pick out translations, like like certain lines or favorite lines, and do you ever go through them and try to find, the ones that?
No, but I'm very, very curious about the Foster Homes and Flies and how they dealt with the Three's Company references. With the theme song and stuff that the neighbor sings. Very curious how they handle that, or even the Blueberry Pop-Tarts that like if they use Pop-Tart or if they use like an equivalent,
right,
just something like that.
What I wonder in this one is how they did all the hick vernacular, all the country speak in this, because there's a lot of stuff that makes no sense. Like I might could go for a biscuit now, that kind of thing, or like you were talking about with what instead of that, like that dog, what did that thing, that kind of thing. I do wonder how they do that, so I will look up certain things. And what they did with this one is sometimes they just left it English, and then like if it was either a shortened word or a contraction or whatever you want to call it, they either left the word in English, or they completely changed the line completely to make sense. And then I'll go over to Google Translate, I'll type it in, I'll be like, that's nothing like what it says in the book. It has the same effect, but I also think that's a testament to, the difference between writing and storytelling. As long as you have the same effect, it doesn't matter what words you use to have that effect. So people get stuck on words all the time, and people get stuck on little shit like commas and whatnot. Just fucking write the book. You can always change it. You got plenty of time. No one is banging. I'm talking about aspiring writers. No one's banging down your door for a book. So take your time, get your shit right.
I did sign. Oh man, what was it? It's the last one I signed for foreign translations. It was Czechoslovakia, but I don't remember what book it was. I think it was The Pale White.
Yeah.
So, but I haven't heard from them. Hopefully they're working on it. Here it is. Yeah, I signed it in April. So that's not very long ago.
Yeah.
Published no later than December 31st, 2024. So.
Okay. Well.
Oh, yep, The Pale White. Cool. Yeah, hopefully that'll come out. I don't know how to seek these out. All of the ones that I've gotten.
Same here. They've all contacted me.
But I would like to know how to. Sometimes people ask me, "How do you do?" And I was like, They just
Agents.
email me. Don't know.
Literally, it usually comes down to getting an agent, unless you're going to get invites. But and that's why I tell people all the time who are like, how did you get to where you're at? You know, how are you? Literally everything just fell in my lap. I cannot give you advice on how to get where I'm at. And that's why I said it's mostly about who you know, who's talking about you, word of mouth. It's literally about that. If you get someone, exactly, because I never would have had Paul contact me if it wasn't for H. Michael Casper. He's the one who said, hey, check this dude out. And now I have Thunderstorm saved my ass so many times with checks that I didn't realize were coming. And he also saved my career because something had happened and I thought my career was dead. And that was literally like the same week he emailed me. So I'm not sure if H was like, I see him struggling over here thinking about killing the Lorne name. Let me, talk to Paul, or if he'd been talking to Paul the whole time, I don't know. But it was literally perfect timing. And then the book sold out before it even went up for sale. How that works for anybody watching is he has a book club, and people get to buy the book or reserve the book before it even is announced to the general public. And 9 out of the 10 things I've done with him have all sold out prior. So I'm amazingly lucky there because I'm not doing any promotion for them. But literally all my movie stuff, they contacted me. All my international stuff, they contacted me. All my traditional publishing stuff. I had an agent find me through a short story that I had sent to a journal. The journal declined the story, but they sent the story off to this agent. The agent contacted me and said, do you have a novel sitting around? Because I love the way you write. It didn't fit for the journal, but they wanted. So even my agents and I had the same agent for 7 years until unfortunately he passed away from COVID. But I had, for a long stretch of time, I had the same agent and a wonderful working relationship. And ever since he died, I've been struggling to actually go out and find, and I got numerous pen names, numerous writing credits, all this stuff. And I am struggling to find an agent right now that is worth a shit and that doesn't want to completely carve up my work to turn it into something trendy. That's the biggest problem I have right now because
I've had an agent once. Go ahead.
Well, I'll spit it out real quick. Please, I want to hear what you say though. So remember, but the last agent that I was so close to signing a deal with said, "Have you thought about writing a TikTok thriller?" I'm like, "What do you mean TikTok thriller? TikTok's really hot right now. There's publishers looking for TikTok themed thrillers." I'm like, "No, I have all these other books to give you." Like, no, we want to get you something with your foot in the door. I'm like, I could bang something out, but it's not going to be anything like my other stuff because it's saga stuff. It's not modern day. I like building brands, and staying on brand. Other than Lorne's all over the place. But yeah, so and I was like, you know what? I don't think we're going to work out because you keep pushing me to try and write something that I don't want to write. So I'll go find someone else. But yeah, that's that whole story.
They're of the business mindset and not the artistic mindset.
Money, yeah, they chasing money.
Yeah. I had an agent that I signed on for a year. Can't remember her name, but I knew right away this isn't going to work out, and I never sent her a thing, and had no intention to, because it started to feel kind of sketchy and like maybe they didn't really know what they were doing. And then I saw them in a group one time in like a Books of Horror type Facebook thing. And somebody was talking about Skullface Boy and how much they loved it. And they're like, said something like, oh, I'm not sure if I've read this yet. And some other people talked about that and liking it. And they're like, you don't, what's it about or something, she said. And I can't remember, but somebody finally just said, because this is supposed to be my agent, not that they're supposed to read everything that I have published, but she said, or somebody said, you don't remember if you read a book where with the character has a skull for a face? She's like, I just read so many books. And I was like, I am never sending you anything. And just that was like,
That's
It
like
was like
12 red flags in one bundle. Shit.
it was the catalyst for, because I was like, I can't even remember what the other things were, but that was the topper. It was like, you don't know what you're doing. You probably haven't even read me, because they sought
Yeah.
me out,
Yeah.
and that was also kind of a red flag that they would seek me out. Uh, because I thought, if I'm seeking, that means you're probably not that busy, and you're not, maybe not making things happen. You're not in high demand. And then the closest other thing that I would have to having an agent, but it's not even close to that, but maybe kind of adjacent, is Josh Malerman's manager, who is part of the production team for the Wormwood screenplay. Um, he has read a bunch of my stuff, and there's an open door there. Anything I want to ever send him that he thinks that he can, um, like he like Skullface Boy, I pitched it to him. I was, because I had already sent him like 3-4 books, and he would say, I don't think, like Pale White, I can't do this, too much sexual, assault stuff. I was like, okay, I get it. And then when I said, well, I've got this book called Skullface Boy, but if you can't do this and this, there's no way you're gonna be able to do this. And I said, it's about this. And he's like, well, that might just be what we need. So I sent it to him. He's like, absolutely love this book, but you're right. I don't know what to do with this. It's
The way I see Skullface Boy in my head is like a Scanner Darkly, like rotoscoped.
I think you got, that's what I've always, and I don't know if you got that from me, but that's how I picture it too.
This is the first time I ever read it. The first, it's been in my head like that ever since. And I mean, it just makes sense. I think where it comes from is your cover, because your cover screams rotoscope, like a realistic but animated also.
Yeah.
And if I were to do it, or have, that's exactly how I would do it. Rotoscoped and just highly stylized. What I want to see is a very well done, clean, crisp visuals, indie small film kind of deal of Wallflower, almost like Love Liza, Train Spotting, that kind of thing. I want to see something that's dark and gritty and gets right down to the point. Something to where, like, first time he shoots up, it's like a close up of the syringe and the blood weaving its way up into the thing, and then it hits, and then zoom back out as his his eyes die, that kind of thing, something very, very stylized, but like low budget,
Requiem.
Yes, exactly. Requiem for a Dream, perfect example. Something like that, but not like insane cuts like Requiem. Long shots of almost nothing happening, kind of like A Ghost Story, A24's Casey Affleck movie. It's like kind of like just long.
That would be
scenes.
Cool, dude. Yeah, okay, I can see that.
Yeah, just like long scenes of like, is he fucking dead? Is he hot?
Yeah, you're just watching him nod for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, something like that. If I were to do that, that's exactly how I would do it, and I want to see that one day. Damn it. We'll get there. We'll get there eventually.
I thought about taking a year just writing just screenplays.
Yeah.
And getting in and seeing, trying to nab an agent, seeing what I can do. I can't, when sending this stuff to Ryan, I told him before, in a phone call, I was like, dude, I can't like figure you out. Like if I, like he read Foster Homes and Flies. He's like, it's, I love it. Great story. It would make for a great movie, but something is missing, or maybe it's just, he doesn't think he can make a movie out of everything. He knows that there are things that would make a wonderful movie, but he doesn't know how to do it personally.
Right.
And so he's kind of like, he's looking for stuff that can fit into his wheelhouse. And all I've got to go by is the movie Bird Box, which I'm never going to, none of my stuff is ever going to be like that. So I don't know how to figure you out, man. I don't know what's going to be the one. I mean, because then he wanted Wormwood. So it's like, well, if you want Wormwood, why don't you want, a Foster Homes and Flies?
I have to read Wormwood after I read Broad Street, because I do not see your writing and Tim's writing working together whatsoever. Because I've read a lot of Tim, The Switch House, Malignant Summer, numerous ones. The Neon one, I can't remember what it's called. But anyways, I've read a lot of his shit, and every time you bring up Wormwood, I'm like, how the fuck? Like that, these two styles do not fit whatsoever. So I'm interested in that. And I
it was a lot like what we're doing right now, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
But and he's super laid back. So, but sometimes I would just like be like full chapter gone. You know, he would just like a couple times he tried to get supernatural, and I'm like, no, dude, reel that back in. And we would joke about it because he loves his cosmic stuff. He loves his supernatural stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he tried to go there a couple times, but I mean, I'm proud of it. People like it. Like Wallflower. I don't think it's wholly original. I think it's a good story, but I think it's something that's maybe been done before, but just differently. I was just talking to Tim today because this whole screenplay thing, no buyers, for the funding. So we're thinking about talking to everybody and seeing what we can do with it and add in some stuff that they had us take out that I one scene in particular, probably only just this one scene in particular, that I'm almost wonder sometimes if that's part of what maybe killed it. Like if somebody's reading it, because it makes it, and it's actually a scene that Tim wrote that he came up with. And when they wanted it out, I was like, oh man, but I understood because it's a little dark and a little perverted.
So some unsolicited advice for anyone out there listening. One of the best pieces of advice I ever got as far as my writing career was, if you even if you don't have aspirations to be a screenwriter, always write a screenplay of your book. At least one time, write a screenplay of your book, just so you have the experience doing it. Also, you don't want to. I have screenplays for all of my stuff because you don't want to be caught empty-handed when someone comes across it and goes, "Oh, hey, look." You want to be prepared. Not only, but they can hire someone to adapt it, but definitely have it ready for someone in case something takes off, because you never know what's going to take off. And scripts are really easy to write when you have a novel to work off of, especially if you're the author and you know all the intricacies and everything. You know exactly what to cut and keep it still, on theme, on topic, and all that. But yeah, always write at least one screenplay based on your work.
I agree, and it is easier, but there is a learning curve there's definitely a learning curve with trying to ignore the prose and trying to realize what is really needed here. And now, otherwise you're going to have a 300-page script, and unless you're Tarantino, no one would ever even glance at it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so trying to get that down to what is it, like 110 pages or something? It can be really tough.
For those of you that don't know, a script has to be, it's roughly about 1 minute per page, 1.5, 2 minutes, no more than 2 minutes per page. So just keep that in mind if you're going to work on it. Every single page translates to about a minute on screen. Also, you don't have to go into great detail about what the camera does, because they're going to rewrite the director.
That's a whole different screenplay.
It's a whole different script. It's called a shooting script. So it's a completely different thing. Just focus on the writing. Focus on getting the story across in as few words as possible. I know that makes a lot of people cringe because it's like, oh God, it's like writing a blurb. It's a lot more than just writing a blurb. It's about carving down your scenes to the visuals and to the character reactions. And sometimes they don't even like the character reactions because they want the actor to, you know, perform however they want to. The actor doesn't want to have their hand held. They want to be able to do what they want to do. So, and you're going to get rewrites because actors are finicky beasts. So they are going to change your dialogue and things like that. There's very few scripts that get shot exactly how they're written. Kevin Smith was a stickler with that. He didn't let people ad lib at all for the longest time. They had to say it exactly how he wanted it said. Yeah, I know about the script shadow thing. I don't like. Sorry.
This still holds up too. I think this still holds up.
Oh, I haven't read that one.
I'm sure there's many more editions after this one, but or at least one or two.
Yeah. The only writing books I've ever, screenplays, novels, any of that stuff, there's only two. That's Zen and the Art of Writing by Ray Bradbury and On Writing by Stephen King. And neither one of those books are really books about writing. They're more about the journey of writing. Mm-hmm. They're not really about structure. If you want that, you just Strunk and whatever the hell his name is. There's style books out there if you want a book just on writing. But Alec, I'm gonna throw this out there. I don't like the whole script shadow program because you're putting your stuff up for everyone to see. You're putting your uncopyrighted material out there, your unfinished material out there. I don't really stand behind things like that. But if it works for people, it works for people. But my advice is to not do things like that. You want to keep as few eyes as possible on your whatever. On your project. Save the Cat is a fantastic book as well, especially for new screenwriters. Yeah. The how to book screenplay by Sid Field tells you to set up the script in the first 10 pages because you don't have 200 pages to make the story happen. I mean, I would say the same thing for a novel. I mean, you want to go in with your point. You want to start with the, you know, if you're just meandering trying to find the place, that's why some editors just cut out the first couple paragraphs. But yeah, I would say, you know, stay on thread.
Have you read Polnick's book on writing?
I have it.
Yeah, me too. I haven't read it though.
Consider This. Yeah, I have it. I have the hardcover. But I haven't read it yet. Like I said, the only two that I've read at all is Zen and the Art of Writing by Bradbury and King's On Writing. Those are the only.
On Writing is 100% essential reading. Absolutely, for no matter what genre you're writing.
It needs to be taught in schools. It needs to be in every writer workshop. It just needs to be there, so people can open it up and read it. Because I have one copy that is nothing but highlights. In fact, I can't read some of it because the highlighter made the ink bleed. So, but anyways, I know the sections and I just went through it. Literally, it got to a point where it was kind of absurd because there was more highlighted than there was not. But I just kept doing it because I got into a routine. I was like, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. And the best thing Stephen King ever said about writing is his allegory for a toolbox. Everything goes in the toolbox. Everything. And that's also where I get when I tell people, you know, write what you know means, you know, use your own life experience to make situations realistic, believable, personal, that kind of thing. It's not about only write doctor books if you're a doctor, you know, that kind of thing. I do have, hang on.
I like William Goldman. I got a bunch of his books.
Which Lie Did I Tell? By William Goldman, something like that.
Sure.
Damn it, it's around here somewhere. But anyways, I haven't read it all, but I've read bits and pieces of it. And that one is more like not a diatribe, but him talking about the stories that no one associates with him. Like stories that are just like the Princess Bride. No one believes he wrote that, considering some of the other stuff he wrote, because he has one of the most eclectic catalogs of any author ever. Like I'm trying to think of a good example.
Magic, Marathon Man.
Yeah.
Heat.
It's Which Lie Did I Tell is the book I'm talking about, but I'm trying to think of one that he did that just completely blew my mind to find out that he wrote it. Yeah, see, one of the first things when you type books by William Goldman is, did William Goldman write The Princess Bride? It's like right off the bat. But yeah, the same person who did Princess Bride wrote Heat. Let's see here. Works. There was one that really blew my mind. All the President's Men.
You know what? I just realized. I just remembered.
Misery.
I think...
Misery. God damn it, Misery. He wrote the screenplay for Misery.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's written a lot of screenplays. I believe he wrote a handful of Twilight Zone too, if I'm not mistaken. But I just remembered. I think the very first like novel I ever, read was William Gold as his Temple of Gold. It's a coming of age, like college age coming of age thing. It was, my dad kept trying to get me to read it because it was one of his all time favorites, and I still got it in paperback. But yeah, I don't really remember anything about it.
Yeah. Yeah, he wrote several. He wrote Dreamcatcher, Hearts in Atlantis, Misery. I think those are the only 3 that he did. But I mean, he did The Ghost in the Darkness, which I think is a fantastic fucking film. The Dreamcatcher was terrible, but I mean, what are you going to do with that? The General's Daughter, Absolute Power. He's done everything from fantasy to political thrillers. It's crazy how eclectic his catalog is.
I think there's some good YouTube videos of him too, talking about all this stuff.
Definitely. He was a consultant on Dolores Claiborne. And he's an uncredited writer of Last Action Hero. I do wonder if he's uncredited because he asked for his name to be taken off of it. But other than that, I like that movie. I think it's absolutely perfect.
Did he write the screenplay for Magic? I think he did.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, Magic 1978, directed by Richard Attenborough.
Have you read that or seen the movie?
I've seen it. Yeah, Anthony Hopkins.
Yeah, I didn't know this until probably last year. That Metallica song "Sad but True" is about magic.
Really?
Yeah. And if you
okay,
keep that in mind and you listen to the lyrics.
I'm going through the lyrics in my head, and I'm like, okay, that makes perfect sense. That's funny. You would think it'd be, wait for it, Master of Puppets.
Oh, jeez.
Sorry, it's a bad joke. But yeah, he did an uncredited rewrite of Good Will Hunting. Yeah, that was such an amazing pun. Anyways,
yeah, I'm your dream, make you real. I'm your eyes when you must steal. I'm your pain when you can't feel.
Yeah.
I'm your eyes while you're away. I'm your pain while you repay. Yeah, I found that out, and I was like, I think I had just finished reading Magic because I read it a couple years ago, and I found that out, and I was like, you got to be kidding me! I had no idea.
Yeah, there's a very, it's not like dark web or anything, but there's a dark, like, it's almost like the supposed hanging person in The Wizard of Oz.
Yeah,
they say if you watch Magic, as the movie goes on, the puppet looks more and more like Anthony Hopkins, but it's the same puppet it's the same dummy throughout the entire movie. But there's people out there that say that the dummy looks more and more like him the farther on. You know how some that dogs or animals look like them?
Yeah,
it's kind of like that same effect. But it's the same dummy throughout. They didn't change anything, but people swear up and down that the dummy's face changes. And I think it's more Anthony Hopkins falling into the role so deeply that he starts to take on the features of the dummy. But it's been a long time since I've watched it. I haven't watched it since I've read several articles about it, because I went down a rabbit hole with the ghost from Three Men and a Baby was just a cardboard cutout. But yeah, I read several articles on that because I was going to do this the story I had called Plot Wheel. Oh no. Anyways, I had this story. I shouldn't even said the title, but I had the story in mind, and I will do it eventually. But it is far bigger of an idea than I ever thought it could be. And I was going through. It's one of those not really lost footage or lost movie kind of things. It's one of those. It's kind of like Night Film where someone's reputation becomes, you know, legend,
Mhm.
and you're trying to find out how much of it is real and how much isn't real. And going through that, I was researching movies that had like Wizard of Oz with the hanging person, then all the stuff, all like people actually dying on film that didn't actually die, but lore has it that everybody died, like Cannibal Holocaust, that kind of
Mhm.
thing. Everybody thought they were all dead, then they had to go to court to prove that those people were still
Yeah.
alive. There's an amazing fictionalized version of that called We Eat Our Own by Kia Wilson. Amazing book. And it's completely fictionalized, but it's the fictionalized version of what happened with the trial and what actually happened on set, because they were actual bad things that happened on set, but none of the stuff that the director literally had to go to court for. As you got to be out of
There's
here
a
at noon. It's already
yeah,
11:10.
yeah, I gotta bail. I'll say on that note though that there is I think it's a Shutter series, and within the series, a documentary series, and within the series there is a documentary on Cannibal Holocaust, and that has interviews with the actors. It's
Yeah.
recent, has with the director and all that kind of stuff. It didn't dive as deep as I was hoping it would,
It's
but
an
it was
Eli
still.
Roth's History of Horror or whatever it's called. Is it the Eli Roth thing? He's the
Mm,
host of it. You would I mean, if it's not hosted by him, then we're talking about two different things. But
no, it's that's a different. What is it called? I think it's just Cursed Films too. If you've never
okay,
watched it,
that's it. Cursed Films. Yeah.
yeah, if you've
There were
never
two
watched
that
that series, amazing, amazing series.
yeah.
But the darkest one is being the Twilight Zone, which is that man that will bum you out for a week if
Hmm.
because of the people killed on in that. But it's got the Omen. I think was it Poltergeist, or was it? Yeah, I think it was Poltergeist. The Exorcist, Omen, The Crow, and Cannibal Holocaust, and a couple of other ones. But I found the most interesting ones to be The Omen for sure. That one had the most eerie stuff that I
Yeah.
hadn't heard of before.
Yeah. The production of the Omen was something serious. Let's see here. No, not ad stream. Stop screen sharing. I have a glitch right now that I can't. I'm having an issue. Merge visible. I'm having an issue saving. My wraparound cover for Bay's End, the new one that I showed you.
Mm-hmm.
No, not JPEG. Why won't it let me pick PDF? I don't know what's going on here. Save. Okay. No, I don't want the editing compression maximum. No, I'll do medium. See if that helps. Yeah, there it is right there. But when I go to try and upload it to Kindle, now it's showing up. Yesterday, I don't know what I did yesterday. I must have been too tired. I was literally sitting here working on this the wraparound cover. If y'all want to see it, I'll throw it up on screen real quick. But I'm rebranding all the Lorne stuff to look more like it should, to where they don't look like horror novels. Let's see here. What do I got to do? Present. Share screen. Window. Yeah, there's the new wraparound for Bay's End. There's going to be a hardcover, paperback, and an ebook, of course. The ebook's already updated, but yeah, that's what I'm going for. I wanted the title and everything to pop better on the spine, but I couldn't get it any way to keep this image and have fonts that, the font pop out. So I'm happy with it the way it is, because if I use white, then it's going to disappear. If I use black, it's going to disappear down here. you can't see my cursor, but if I use up here where it says Bay's End, if I use white, it blends into that. And then the name is too long. If I use black, it disappears at the bottom. So, but I love the way this turned out with the title and the burn around it. I love the way that turned out. It took me over an hour, and I was sitting here working on this from. I read Broad Street Bastard. I had an idea while I was reading it for the new covers, so I went looking for certain images, and I found them finally. And then I worked on that, I would say from 4:30 all the way up until 6:30, and then I had to stream at 7. So I was in this chair almost like, I would say a total of like 10 hours yesterday. Boy, last night sucked trying to get to bed without a gummy. But anyways, yeah, I like it. I don't know if anybody else likes it, but I'm finally happy with it. This is the first one that feels right. And I'm going to try. Chad had an idea to take the match and make the apostrophe in Bay's, make the match be the apostrophe. But I'm wondering if people will get that, if people will understand that it's supposed to be I guess they could look at the spine and tell, but that's
just shrink it, move the title down below so that it has more room in there. Put it in there, just put it in there, see what it looks like, see if you think it still looks like a a match or whatever, because I mean it would make for a great apostrophe.
It would, yeah, because it literally is the same shape if you flip it over. If you invert it, it looks like an apostrophe. So I mean that's brilliant. But yeah, the next one I'm going to work on is Life After Dane. I'm going to try and get all these to where they look good on a shelf together too. I'm going to do Life After Dane, then, because that's technically my next novel after Bay's End, even though there were 3 books in between them. One of them isn't available for sale anymore. Actually, 3 of them aren't. None of them are available for sale anymore. That's Dastardly Bastard, Hope for the Wicked, and Pennies for the Damned. So I had 3 books in between that, and none of them are available anymore. And I want to go from that. I want to do them in chronological order of publication. So I'll make that work. Also, I wish there was a way I could go back and take off the fact that this is a series, because I think it keeps people from reading the middle books, even though they're all 100% standalones. It keeps them from reading them. Anywho, but yeah, I'm for once I'm finally happy with. Oh, let me show you guys. There's a new. I can't show that screen. It has my name on it. Chad has. Let's see here. Chad has updated the cover for South of Here. I want to show you guys that. So open. Download. There we go. That is Chad's cover for South of Here. That shit is sexy.
Sexy cover for a non-sexy book.
You got that right, brother. You got that right. But yeah, this is absolutely gorgeous. I can't wait for my copy to get here. I'm gonna be showing it off to everybody. Anyways, so I'm gonna let Chad get, unless you want to do some more writing. I don't know. I don't have. I'm completely.
I got a bolt. I'm gonna eat my lunch and watch this guy talk about his favorite Stephen King covers while I'm eating. And
you do that too?
Yeah.
I watch my. That's when I watch my videos, is when I'm eating.
Yeah.
It's a bad habit, but especially if it's a long video, because I keep going back for more food. So, but anyways, all right, guys, thanks for joining us. We will get more work done on Monday. By the way, we are taking Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday off, so Chad can get caught up with everything. And then when we come back on Monday, we will be focused in. That'll also give me time to work on a bunch of videos, because I still haven't edited my King Redux short story collection stuff. I need to edit that. They've been done for months, like 2 months, but I still haven't edited them. Solvent, I didn't even know you were in here, Solvents. Take care, Solvents. Bye, Alec. Bye, Viking. Bye, anybody else who might be lurking in the background.
See everybody.
Until next time, all hail the chair.